Demos, those delicious little snippets that let us see what games we should be salivating over and waiting to buy. So which demos should you be trying out in 2020? Well, we have a top 10 list of must check out games to get you through. All are great games across different genres and can be downloaded today right now. Let us know in the comments below if you think we got the number one spot correct. Let's go! Classic platforming starts at the forefront of our countdown, and this time it's with a colourful and truly 3D game called Pumpkin Jack. Sent from the devil on a mission to take out a wizard, Jack leaps and bounds his way around an environment full of skeletons and puzzles that need solving. Jack will need to use his head, literally, to make his way to the end of this demo, and the fighting mechanics are fun, using both weapons and a friendly crow that joins in on the fighting. Pumpkin Jack controls really well, including the camera, which can be an aspect that hurts 3D platformers. Rolling around to dodge enemies' attacks and projectiles feels intuitive, and the boss fight at the end is fun, and a taste of things to come. I was surprised how polished the demo was, and Pumpkin Jack definitely has that nostalgic feel to it in the way that it plays and is narrated. I'm really looking forward to what a full release game would look like. So I love Vikings, and getting the chance to try out Viking Vengeance was something that I jumped at. The game aims to be a hack and slash with levels to grind and rooms to collect that impact how you fight. The demo allows you to play as a warrior or ranged character and use as a god that you can become and create carnage all around you. Work your way through multiple enemies that run at you and use fire to your advantage to clear the waves. Some of the abilities can have interesting interactions with enemies, and fighting your way out of Valhalla upon dying is an interesting concept. For players that love upgrading stats, armor and weapons, Viking Vengeance promises to provide ways to customize and change the nature of your playthrough. For players like me, it allows you the chance to just run and slash your way through as many enemies as can be thrown to you on screen. You can't help but think about a Vikings-based intense dungeon crawler with a smile on your face. Cute graphics and old school platforming are offered in hard Helly as you make your way through worlds collecting coins and looking for the portal that will send you on your way. The game promises to be hard, and upon beating the first level, I wondered whether hard Helly would be another one of those platformers that is insanely difficult to beat as I breezed through that first level. Then I hit stage 2, and yeah, there is definitely some brutal challenges in there, especially if you choose, as I did, to collect every coin in the stage before moving on. Some of the enemies add some extra challenge, especially those that come from below the stage. Really looking forward to seeing how hard some of the later levels will be designed to be, and can't help but think that hard Helly would be a great game to speedrun in the future. Stylish and hectic are two words that come to mind when explaining how Neon Abyss plays. Work your way through procedurally generated levels, clearing anything and everything that you can shoot. All the while, you collect different weapons and eggs that can turn into companions that do some of the shooting for you. Some of the cooler parts of the Neon Abyss demo include the replayability and the boss fights, which are plain awesome. The fact that each item, gun, and companion changes the gameplay in such drastic ways, each playthrough feels a little different. And when you ramp up the difficulty mode, there is a big challenge for experienced players of this genre. Each level contains shops that can be found which let you buy different items to add on. Neon Abyss controls well and looks great. This is one to look out for with the release in 2020. Life can be tough, having to work a desk job, listening to a jerk of a boss, and just trying to make ends meet. Well, in Death and Taxes you get to feel that pain, but with a bit of a twist. In this game, you're not just pushing letters to finance. Your job is to choose who gets to live and die, and it can feel a little gruesome. Look through different members of the public and read about their traits and habits, and with the tick of a pen, choose whether they're heading to the afterlife. My favourite part of the demo was reading the phone alerts each morning, and the previous deaths have caused some mayhem around the world. Let's say that taking out a safety inspector might have some long-lasting effects. I love the introduction comic, and the general art style of the game suits the overall nature. Daily interactions with the boss add a bit of extra interest in the game, and I always felt a little guilty for enjoying my job. I'm really curious about the big picture of Death and Taxes and how it comes together as a full game. Surely by now you are already halfway to the Steam and itch pages ready to download some stellar games, but there are still 5 more to go. And in the meantime, subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the best in indie gaming and check out the socials as well. Which game gets number 1? Let's jump back in. Who hasn't sat on the couch watching a broadcast and thought to themselves, hey, I reckon I could do a better job of this? Well, in Not For Broadcast, you get unexpectedly thrown into the role of directing a news broadcast. The prologue acts as a tutorial of sorts as you direct your way through an interview and a press conference featuring some very interesting and funny, and in one case, inebriated characters. You're in charge of making everything run smoothly, from cutting between camera shots to bleeping out unsavory language. When I first jumped into Not For Broadcast, I thought this would be something that would be quite complicated and wondered how they could bring this together into an intuitive game. Well, they have nailed this aspect and the game is a lot of fun to control. This game offers a lot of laughs and is very different from any other that I have played in the past. The acting of the cast is top notch and their performances add to the enjoyment of the player. The only complaint I had about Not For Broadcast the prologue was that it ended and I was left wanting more. A legendary warrior in a necessary body. Meet Warriorb, the bouncing protagonist trying to unlock the mystery and devastation of Ruin. The demo is super polished and one that I've been tracking for quite some time. The way in which you can jump and bounce through puzzles is interesting, and just the size and scope of possibilities for platforming is a lot of fun. Warriorb is a mixture of puzzles, platforming and fighting, and finds a really good balance in this demo. Work your way through a mixture of enemies that leave behind descriptions that tell of golems coming to life, and then find different keys that allow you to move further into the map. I've always loved the art style of this game, and the way the game shifts perspectives through the camera is just so well designed. I'm intrigued by the storyline possibilities behind Ruin and where that will lead to. How Warriorb fits into the big picture is going to be a ball to play through and one worth keeping an eye out on. One Step From Eden is a real-time battle tactics game which is both intense and fast-paced with the mechanics. In the demo you get limited information about the storyline, but a bit of reading tells me that the idea is to make it to Eden. What you do get in the demo is a chance to test out the fighting and battle mechanics, and it is really good. Moving about your battlefield to both dodge enemies and send your own abilities off works so well, and I really like how the deck building gives you the chance to take on the same level with different strategies. After each fight, you get to choose a card to add to your deck, which lets you do different abilities during the fight. Alongside this, leveling up allows you to choose some more permanent character traits, which are going to come in really handy with the boss fights. Oh yeah, the boss fights, did I mention that? Prepare to get your butt kicked in a ridiculously hectic fight, which, if you're lucky enough to get through, you might even get a chance to take on someone even more difficult, referred simply to as her. Discord tells me that this one is out for PC and Switch early this year and looks to be a great tactics game to give a try. Cris Tales is stunning both in the artistic direction of the game and the way it tells the story. Meet Crispell, the young, charming protagonist who has the ability to manipulate and see different points of time, both into the past and future. Fantastic voice acting supports a game that truly leaves you wanting more, and add in the possibility of playing on Switch in the future, and it's clear why this demo is one of the must-plays of the year. I really enjoyed the battle mechanics, using a turn-based system, and the puzzle solving was fun enough to go through. I can't understate how well this game has been designed, which makes exploring everything from the rose garden to the farm a joy to be a part of. Cris Tales is another game that gives you a companion to guide you on the journey, in the form of Matthias, the frog, and their music helps to build the mood depending on what is happening. The game does a great job of creating unique and compelling characters in such a short period of time, and Crispell's journey as a time mage is going to be a highlight of indie games in 2020. Number 1 on our list of must-play demos is the charming game called Unbound Worlds Apart. Meet Solly, the little mage who has a whole community's hopes on their shoulders when a summoning goes wrong. That kind of makes me think, when do summonings ever go right in any video game? But back to the point. Solly has to try and put things back together, starting by finding 2 fragments that can be put together to open the tower doors. Luckily for us, this hauntingly well-designed world has portals placed throughout that change the power that Solly is able to use. In the demo, we see 3 different powers, and my favourite by far is the ability to change gravity with a click of a button. Having to manipulate gravity to make your way through some of the platforming puzzles is such a cool idea, and I really enjoyed trying to blitz through them on the second and third runs through this demo. The spider part of the demo is terrifying and something that is challenging to make your way through. I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but definitely a game you have to try out and see what it's like, and add to your wish list moving into the new year. So there you go, 10 wonderful games to try and hours of fun that you can access for free right now. Remember to comment below about your favourite game and which title you would put as your number 1 spot. Until next time, take it easy.